All right, so are you ready to like really level up your executive job search?
Oh, yeah.
We're
Definitely.
about to deep dive into something that could be like a total game changer for you.
Okay, cool. I'm all ears.
It's all about like acing those high stakes interviews,
Right, right.
the
Okay.
kind where you're not just proving your skills, but you're showcasing your leadership vision.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Like you want to walk in and just like blow them away,
Total.
be that candidate that they just can't forget.
For sure. And you sent over this YouTube video by career coach Joshua Brown,
Oh yeah, he's great.
and it had this like really clever strategy, I thought, for standing out,
Okay.
bringing a 30, 60, 90-day plan to the interview.
Yes, and it's not just any old plan,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
It's like this seriously strategic roadmap
Yeah.
that shows you've already put in the work
Yeah.
and thought deeply about what you'd accomplish in the role.
Yeah, you're not just like talking the talk. You're like, hey, here's what I'm going to do.
Exactly.
See?
From day one.
I mean, picture yourself on the other side of the table, right? Okay. Yeah.
As the interviewer, wouldn't you be impressed by a candidate who came this prepared?
100%. Yeah, absolutely. It goes beyond just saying you're ready to hit the ground running.
Right.
It actually shows them how you would do it.
I love that.
And Brown lays it out so well.
Okay.
It's a 5-page plan
Okay.
that covers everything from day one to that crucial 90-day mark.
All right, let's break it down page by page.
Yeah, let's do it.
So page one is called your commitment.
Okay.
And this is where things get like really interesting because it starts with something you wouldn't expect.
All right. What is that?
A written commitment statement.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
It's almost like a preemptive strike on the company's values.
Right.
You're demonstrating alignment before they even get a chance to ask about it.
Right.
Brown suggests including things like integrity, honesty, ethical behavior,
Those are all really important.
all those core values that are so important to any organization.
Yeah.
But what I find really smart is the signature and date at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
It's like it elevates it
Yeah.
from a simple list to a formal declaration.
It's like you're signing a contract
Yes, exactly.
with yourself, but also with them
To uphold those values.
Right.
Such a strong statement right off the bat.
right away.
Okay, so then we move on to my first 7 days.
Right.
This is all about setting the right tone from the start,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
Getting oriented
Yeah.
and building those crucial relationships.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So it shows a proactive mindset,
Yeah.
a willingness to learn the ropes quickly.
For sure. For sure.
Brown recommends meeting colleagues, reviewing key documents,
Oh, okay.
having that initial meeting with your manager to set clear expectations.
That's smart.
So it's like you're saying, I'm not going to waste any time getting up to speed and becoming a valuable member of the team
Right.
right away.
Absolutely.
Now, obviously, the heart of this plan is the 30-day, 60-day, and 90-day goals.
Yeah, that's where the meat is.
Now, this is where you really flex your strategic muscles and showcase your leadership capabilities.
Mhm. Okay, let's hear it.
And Brown has got a great structure for each phase,
Right.
starting with that first month.
Okay.
So for the 30-day plan, he emphasizes stakeholder meetings, right?
Uh-huh.
Getting to know the key players across the organization,
Makes sense.
understanding their perspectives and building those relationships early on.
Yeah, that's huge.
So it's about actively seeking input and building those crucial relationships right away.
Right.
You're not just holing up in your office, you're getting out there.
Right out the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to hit the ground running.
Okay, so the second goal he suggests is document review.
Okay.
But we're not just talking about like skimming through a few files here.
Right.
This is about taking a deep dive into annual reports, strategic plans, budgets, performance reviews.
Wow, that's a lot.
Anything that can give you a really comprehensive understanding of the company's historical performance and future direction.
It's like you're doing your own internal due diligence.
Right.
It's super impressive.
Okay, next up is the SWOT analysis.
The classic SWOT.
Now, for anyone unfamiliar, SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
Right.
Brown suggests collaborating with your team to identify these key elements within the company.
Okay.
And this shows the hiring manager that you're not just thinking about your individual role,
Right.
but you're already thinking about the big picture,
Yeah.
how you can contribute strategically to the company's overall success.
Love that.
All right. The fourth goal is observation.
Observation. Okay.
It might seem simple, but it's incredibly powerful.
Okay.
Attend meetings, observe team dynamics, really pay attention to the company culture.
Right.
It's about absorbing information about how things actually work.
Like in real life?
Yes. Sometimes what you see in action is quite different from what's written in the company handbook.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
This shows you're paying attention and that you can adapt.
Yeah. I like it.
Okay, and then finally for that 30-day plan, we've got identifying quick wins.
Okay.
This is about demonstrating early value, right? And building momentum. It could be something small, but it shows you're already looking for ways to make a positive impact.
Hit the ground running.
Exactly.
To make a difference.
You're not waiting for some grand initiative. You're finding ways to contribute right away.
Love it.
Okay, so that's the 30-day plan, a really strong foundation for those first few months.
Okay, strong start.
But then things get even more interesting as we move into the 60-day plan.
All right, I'm ready for it.
This is where we really shift gears from assessment to action,
Okay.
putting all those insights from the first month into practice.
Makes sense.
What are some of the key elements Brown suggests for this stage?
Well, he starts with data analysis.
Okay.
By now, you've gathered a ton of information, so it's time to really analyze it.
Yeah.
Market trends, customer feedback, financial data competitor benchmarks.
Oh, wow.
Anything that can help you make data-driven decisions.
You're not just relying on gut feelings or assumptions.
Right.
You're using data to inform your strategy, which is a critical skill for any executive. Okay, so after you've done all that data analysis, what's next?
Well, you define strategic priorities.
Okay.
Based on your analysis, what are the key areas the company needs to focus on to achieve its goals?
So you're taking all that data and turning it into a clear roadmap for action.
Exactly.
This shows that you can connect the dots and identify the most impactful areas to focus on.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and then we've got team engagement.
Yes, teamwork.
Remember, you're not just a solo act here.
Right.
It's about involving your team in the process, holding workshops, strategy sessions, and really getting their input.
Okay.
This fosters a sense of ownership and builds buy-in for your plan.
It's so important to make people feel like they're part of the process.
It really is such an important leadership quality.
Absolutely.
Being able to empower your team and create a collaborative environment.
Couldn't agree more.
Okay, then it's time to create that action plan.
Right.
This is where the rubber meets the road.
Let's do it.
You outline specific initiatives, timelines, responsibilities, and resources needed to achieve those strategic priorities.
Okay.
You're turning that strategic vision into a concrete executable plan that everyone can follow.
Makes sense.
And finally, Brown emphasizes the importance of strategy communication.
Oh, okay.
Present your plan to stakeholders, highlight how it aligns with the company's overall goals, and explain the expected impact.
So everyone's on the same page.
Exactly.
Right.
This is about ensuring everyone understands the direction you're heading in.
Gotcha.
Okay, so we've got the 30-day plan, the 60-day plan, and now it's time to talk about the 90-day plan.
Bring it on.
This is where you really start to see the fruits of your labor.
All right, let's hear it.
You're going to be busy.
I'm ready.
First, it's time to launch those initiatives you outlined in your action plan.
Okay.
Assign teams, allocate resources, and get those wheels turning.
It's go time.
It is go time, but it's not just about launching things blindly, right?
Right.
You also need to set clear success metrics. Establish those key performance indicators or KPIs to track the effectiveness of each initiative.
Right.
This is so important because it shows you're thinking about accountability from the start.
Right.
You're not just saying, I'm going to do this.
Right.
You're saying, I'm going to do this, and here's how we'll know if it's working.
Measure the results.
Exactly. And then continuous communication is key.
Oh, for sure.
Keep everyone in the loop with regular updates, feedback sessions, check-ins with your team and stakeholders.
Okay.
You're creating a culture of transparency and continuous improvement.
I like it.
And remember, you're not just sending out information, you're actively seeking feedback.
Yeah, two-way street.
Use surveys, hold feedback sessions, and really listen to what people have to say.
Makes sense.
You're demonstrating that you're adaptable and willing to learn from others.
Absolutely.
All right, then, after those 90 days, it's time to evaluate and adjust.
Okay.
Assess the results of your initiatives against those metrics you set.
Right.
And present a clear progress report with key learnings and recommendations.
So you can see what worked, what didn't work.
Yeah, you're showing that you're data-driven and that you're constantly looking for ways to improve.
For sure.
And finally, Brown suggests having a formal 90-day review with your superior.
Okay.
This is a chance to discuss your progress, review your objectives, and talk about any areas for development.
Good check-in.
It's about closing the loop and making sure you're still aligned with your manager and the company's goals.
Makes sense.
So there you have it, the 30, 60, 90-day plan,
Wow.
broken down step by step.
Okay, cool.
But here's the real kicker.
All right, what's the kicker?
Brown suggests actually weaving this plan into your answer
Oh, wow.
to the classic, why should we hire you question.
Oh, that's bold.
Can you believe that?
Yeah, I like it.
It's brilliant.
Instead of giving some like generic answer,
Right.
you're hitting them with a concrete example
Yeah.
of your preparedness and strategic thinking.
He even provides a sample answer in his video. It goes something like, you should hire me because I've developed a comprehensive 90-day action plan
Okay.
specifically tailored to this role.
All right.
It outlines my approach to understanding your business, delivering quick wins, and setting a foundation for long-term success.
Oh, that's good.
And I'd be happy to share it with you.
And boom, you hand them the plan.
Talk about making a memorable impression.
Right.
It shows a level of commitment and thoughtfulness
Yeah.
that most candidates wouldn't even consider.
I mean, who else is doing that?
No one.
Right.
Yeah, that's going to separate you from the pack.
Okay, so what if you don't get asked that specific question?
Right.
Does Brown have a backup plan?
He does.
Yeah.
He suggests saying something like, I've actually created a 90-day plan that outlines how I would approach this role and the key initiatives I would prioritize.
Okay.
I'd love to leave you a copy.
And then you just hand over the plan at the end of the interview.
Yeah, so either way, you're leaving them with this tangible document
Right.
that keeps you top of mind.
Yeah. And showcases your strategic thinking.
But why is this approach so effective? Like, what's the psychology behind it?
Well, it taps into several key principles of persuasion.
Okay.
First, it demonstrates a level of commitment and preparation
Yeah,
that builds credibility.
right.
Second, it provides a tangible artifact
Okay.
that the hiring manager can review even after the interview is over.
Keeping you in their thoughts.
Right.
Oh, I like that.
And third, it creates a sense of reciprocity.
Reciprocity. What's that?
By offering this valuable plan, you're subtly encouraging the hiring manager to reciprocate
Oh,
by giving your candidacy serious consideration.
I see.
It's a subtle but powerful psychological nudge.
So you're not just telling them you're prepared.
Right.
You're showing them.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered the what and the why of the 30, 60, 90-day plan.
Right.
But I'm guessing the real magic happens when you tailor it to the specific company and role you're interviewing for.
Oh, absolutely. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution. You need to do your research
Yeah.
and show that you understand their specific needs and challenges.
This is where things get really interesting
Yeah.
and where we'll dig in deeper in the next part of our deep dive.
I can't wait. All right, so let's actually get into the nitty-gritty.
Yes, let's talk about what to actually put in this plan.
Right? We've got the framework.
Right.
Then now it's about bringing it to life.
Yes, and we talked about that powerful commitment page,
Yeah.
how it sets the tone.
Right.
But what about those first 7 days?
Yeah.
What should someone prioritize to make a really good first impression?
Well, Brown really nails it with 3 key areas.
Okay, I'm listening.
First up, relationship building.
Okay.
Make it a priority to introduce yourself to colleagues, key contacts, anyone you'll be collaborating with.
Makes sense.
And take advantage of any inductions or onboarding sessions the company offers.
It's all about, like, getting to know the people,
Yeah,
immersing yourself in the company culture right from the start.
right from day one.
Love it. What's next?
The second area is familiarization.
Okay.
It's about quickly getting up to speed on the company, the department, and your specific role.
Okay.
Dive into any relevant documents like organizational charts, project plans, or policy documents.
So you're not just showing up and being like, okay, what do I do?
Right,
You're demonstrating initiative and a thirst for knowledge.
exactly.
Love that. And what's the third thing?
Brown suggests scheduling an initial meeting with your direct manager.
Okay.
This gives you a chance to discuss expectations, priorities, and any immediate tasks you should focus on.
Sets a collaborative and proactive tone right from the get-go.
Exactly.
Love it. All right, let's talk about the 30-day plan.
Okay.
This is where things really start to get strategic.
Yeah, for sure.
So Brown breaks it down into 5 key goals.
Right?
The first is stakeholder meetings.
Okay.
But it's not just about meeting people.
Right.
It's about strategically connecting with key players, both within your department and across the organization.
Yeah.
Schedule one-on-one meetings to truly understand their perspectives, the challenges they face, and their goals.
So you're building those relationships, but you're also gathering intel.
Yes, you're actively seeking input and building those crucial relationships early on.
It's like networking on steroids.
You're not just holing up in your office, you're getting out there,
Exactly.
building a network.
That's the key.
All right. The second goal is document review.
Okay.
But again, we're not just talking about skimming through a few files here.
Right.
This is about taking a deep dive into annual reports, strategic plans, budgets, performance reviews.
Wow.
Anything that can give you a really comprehensive understanding of the company's historical performance and future direction.
And it's like you're conducting your own internal due diligence.
Exactly, which is so impressive to a hiring manager.
Yeah, shows you're serious.
Okay, then it's on to the SWOT analysis.
SWOT analysis.
You remember that strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
Right.
Brown suggests collaborating with your team to identify these key elements within the company. This shows the hiring manager that you're not just thinking about your individual role.
Yeah.
You're already thinking about the big picture and how you can contribute strategically to the company's overall success.
So you're thinking like an executive.
Exactly.
Before you even have the job.
The fourth goal might seem simple,
Okay.
but it's incredibly powerful.
I'm intrigued.
It's observation.
Conservation. Okay.
Attend meetings, observe team dynamics, really pay attention to the company culture.
All right.
It's about absorbing information about how things actually work.
Sometimes what you see is different from what you hear.
Right. Sometimes what you see in action is quite different from what's written in the company handbook.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And this shows you're paying attention.
Yeah.
You're adaptable.
I like it.
Okay. And finally, the fifth goal for that 30-day plan is identifying quick wins.
Quick wins. I like the sound of that.
This is about demonstrating early value,
Right.
building momentum.
Yeah.
It could be something small, but it shows you're already looking for ways to make a positive impact.
So you're not just there to observe.
Right.
You're there to actually contribute.
You're not waiting for some grand initiative. You're finding ways to contribute and make a difference right away.
Hit the ground running and make a difference.
Exactly.
I love that.
All right, so that's the 30-day plan.
Okay.
We've laid a really strong foundation for those first few months.
Strong start.
Now let's move on to the 60-day plan.
Okay. I'm ready.
This is where we shift from assessment to action,
All right.
putting those insights from the first 30 days into practice.
Makes sense.
So Brown outlines some key areas to focus on here,
Okay.
starting with beta analysis.
Data analysis.
By now, you've gathered a ton of information.
Right. Tons of it.
Now it's time to dig into market trends, customer feedback, financial data competitor benchmarks,
All right.
anything that can help you make data-driven decisions.
So we're getting into the numbers.
You're not just relying on gut feelings or assumptions anymore. You're using data to inform your strategy, which is a critical skill for any executive.
Absolutely. Data is king.
Okay, then you define strategic priorities.
Okay.
Based on your analysis, what are the key areas the company needs to focus on to achieve its goals?
So you're prioritizing.
Yes, you're taking all that data and turning it into a clear roadmap for action.
This shows you can connect the dots and identify the most impactful areas to focus on.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Right.
Okay, and then we've got team engagement.
Ah, yes. Teamwork makes the dream work.
It really does. Remember, you're not just a solo act here.
Right.
It's about involving your team in the process,
Yeah.
holding workshops, strategy sessions,
Yeah.
and really getting their input.
Okay.
This fosters a sense of ownership and builds buy-in for your plan.
People are more likely to support something they helped create.
Absolutely, it's such an important leadership quality.
Couldn't agree more.
Being able to empower your team and create a collaborative environment.
So important.
All right, and then it's time to create that action plan.
Okay, the action plan.
This is where the rubber meets the road.
Let's do it.
You outline specific initiatives, timelines, responsibilities, and resources needed to achieve those strategic priorities.
So it's getting very specific.
It is you're turning that strategic vision into a concrete executable plan
Right.
that everyone can follow.
Makes sense.
And finally, Brown emphasizes the importance of strategy communication.
Oh, wait.
Present your plan to stakeholders, highlight how it aligns with the company's overall goals, and explain the expected impact.
So everyone's in the loop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is about ensuring everyone is on the same page
Yeah.
and understands the direction you're heading in.
Okay.
Now we're ready to tackle the 90-day plan.
Bring it on.
This is where you really start to see the fruits of your labor.
Let's see those results.
You're going to be busy.
I'm ready.
First, it's time to launch those initiatives you outlined in your action plan.
All right.
Assign teams, allocate resources, and get those wheels turning.
It's go time.
It is go time. But it's not just about launching things blindly, right?
Right. We got to measure.
You also need to set clear success metrics.
Okay.
Establish those key performance indicators, or KPIs, to track the effectiveness of each initiative.
Right. So we know if it's working.
This is so important because it shows you're thinking about accountability from the start. You're not just saying, I'm going to do this.
Right.
You're saying, I'm going to do this, and here's how we'll know if it's working.
I love that.
And then continuous communication is key.
Of course.
Keep everyone in the loop with regular updates, feedback sessions, and check-ins with your team and stakeholders.
So important.
You're creating a culture of transparency and continuous improvement.
Love it.
And remember, you're not just sending out information.
Wait.
You're actively seeking feedback.
Two-way street.
Use surveys, hold feedback sessions, and really listen to what people have to say.
Makes sense.
You're demonstrating that you're adaptable and willing to learn from others.
Absolutely.
All right then, after those 90 days, it's time to evaluate and adjust. Assess the results of your initiatives against those metrics you set.
Right.
And present a clear progress report with key learnings and recommendations.
So you can see what worked, what didn't.
Exactly. You're showing that you're data-driven and that you're constantly looking for ways to improve.
Data-driven and always learning.
And finally, Brown suggests having a formal 90-day review with your superior.
Okay. A formal review.
This is a chance to discuss your progress, review your objectives, and talk about any areas for development.
Good to check in with the boss.
It's about closing the loop and making sure you're still aligned with your manager and the company's goals.
Makes sense.
So there you have it, the 30, 60, 90-day plan,
Wow.
broken down step by step.
That's a lot to take in.
It is, but remember, this is just a framework.
Right.
Now comes the fun part.
Okay. I like fun. What's the fun part?
Customization.
Ah, yes. Tailoring it to the specific role.
All right, so we've laid out this awesome 30, 60, 90-day plan framework, but how do you actually tailor it to really shine in your interview?
Right, because it's not like a one-size-fits-all kind of thing.
Exactly. You got to show the hiring manager that you've done your research and you're prepared specifically for their company and their challenges.
Yeah, you got to like speak their language.
Okay, so let's play pretend for a second. Let's say you're interviewing for a CEO role at a tech startup that's like really struggling with growth. How would your 30, 60, 90-day plan look different than, say, someone applying to be the CFO of a well-established manufacturing company?
Okay, so two very different scenarios.
Right.
In that tech startup scenario, your 30-day plan might heavily emphasize market analysis and competitor research.
Makes sense.
But here's where the detail comes in. Instead of just saying, analyze the market, you might say, I'll conduct a thorough analysis of the top 3 competitors, focusing on their pricing strategy and customer acquisition channels.
Oh, I see. So you're showing them exactly how you'd approach it.
Yeah, you're not just throwing out buzzwords.
Yeah.
You're giving them specifics.
Okay, so you're getting specific and demonstrating a deep understanding of their growth challenges.
Exactly.
What about the 60-day plan for that startup CEO?
That's where you start outlining your strategic plan to tackle those growth issues head on.
Okay.
Maybe you've noticed a gap in their product line or an untapped market they haven't explored yet. You could say, based on my analysis, I propose launching a new product line targeting the Gen Z demographic. My 60-day goal is to assemble a cross-functional team to develop a go-to-market strategy and secure initial funding for this initiative.
Wow, that's so much more powerful than just saying launch new products.
Yeah.
You're like painting a clear picture of what action you would take and how you would lead it.
Right, you're showing them you're a doer, not just a talker.
Okay, and then the 90-day plan for the startup CEO would be all about measuring those results, right?
You got it. So instead of just vaguely mentioning metrics, you might say, I'll establish key performance indicators, KPIs, such as user adoption rate and customer lifetime value to track the success of the new product launch. I'll also conduct a 90-day review to assess progress, identify any roadblocks, and adjust the strategy as needed.
You're showing them you're data-driven and focus on results.
Exactly.
All right, let's switch gears to that CFO role at the established manufacturing company. I imagine the focus would be quite different there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. For a CFO at a mature company, your 30-day plan might focus more on understanding their financial health and identifying areas for optimization.
Okay.
You could say something like, my first priority is a deep dive into the company's financial statements and key performance indicators. I'll also schedule meetings with department heads to gain a comprehensive understanding of operational costs and identify potential areas for efficiency improvements.
So it's more about fine-tuning and maximizing profitability rather than rapid growth.
Right. It's about making sure the ship is running smoothly.
Makes sense. And then what about the 60-day plan for the CFO?
Your 60-day plan might involve developing a strategy to address those areas you identified in the first 30 days, you could say. Based on my initial assessment, I propose implementing a new inventory management system to reduce carrying costs and improve working capital. I'll also collaborate with the sales team to optimize pricing strategies and explore new revenue streams.
You're showing them you're not just an accountant, you're a strategic financial leader.
Exactly. You're bringing a fresh perspective and innovative ideas to the table.
Okay, and for the 90-day plan, I'm guessing it's all about tracking the impact of those changes and reporting on those financial improvements.
You could say something like, I'll track key metrics like inventory turnover ratio and gross profit margin to measure the effectiveness of our initiatives. I'll also present a detailed financial report to the board outlining our progress and recommending next steps for continued growth and profitability.
You're showing them you can walk the walk and deliver tangible results.
Exactly. Results matter.
So it's not just about having a plan. It's about making it relevant and impactful. It's about connecting the dots between your skills, their needs, and what you'd actually do in those first 90 days.
You hit the nail on the head. It's about showing them you're not just looking for a job.
Right.
You're looking to make a real difference.
You're thinking like an executive before you even get the offer.
That's the key.
And that's what this 30, 60, 90-day plan is all about.
It's a powerful tool to showcase your strategic thinking, your commitment, and your preparedness, all qualities that are highly valued at the executive level. So as we wrap up this deep dive, let's bring it back to you, our listener.
Yeah.
If you're serious about landing that executive role,
Mm-hmm.
don't underestimate the power of a well-crafted 30, 60, 90-day plan.
It's not just a document.
It's a statement
Yes.
of your leadership vision.
So as you start putting your plan together,
Right.
really think about those first 90 days in a new executive role.
Okay.
What are the key initiatives you would prioritize, and how would you measure success?
And remember, this is just the beginning. There are tons of resources out there to help you dive even deeper into 30, 60, 90-day planning.
So take this knowledge,
Yeah.
apply it to your own job search,
Uh-huh.
and go out there and ace that interview.
You got this.
Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive Eye.